Hey Marvel fans, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host Name and this is The Nerdy Lair. And today we have some major news coming out about Marvel Studios. We're talking firings, we're talking about a subreddit being taken down, and we're talking about the future of Marvel Studios going forward. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about all of that and breaking down all this major news and what it means for Marvel going forward. So let's get into it. So starting off, I want to talk about the major news of the firing of Victoria Alonso. And I mean, this person was the head of like VFX, post-production, physical, shooting, and even animation. Like, she oversaw it all. She's literally been with the company for like since it started for like 17 years, and like she was fired without notice. And the original reports were saying that she was a very toxic person to like VFX studios and workers, and she was something of like a kingmaker, and she just really wasn't performing at her job. I mean, the MCU ever since she took over has been in a pretty rough spot, you know what I'm saying, ever since like the beginning of phase 4. And a lot of us assumed like that's why she was getting fired. But recently it came out that she got fired, I guess, for some movie called Argentina 1985. But apparently the story goes like she worked on a movie, produced a movie for a rival studio, and she was warned once and said she wouldn't do it again, basically, and then continued to work for them after she said she would stop. Like, it's kind of crazy. And if you want my honest opinion, I don't think that's why she was fired, but that's going to be the technical reason she was fired. Like, I think there's a lot of reasons she was fired, but this was just like the cleanest way to get rid of her. Now she's contesting it. Like, she's saying that Marvel silenced her. Like, I don't know what that means, you know what I'm saying? Like, but apparently she has this like crazy big news, and it's gonna come out. Like, I don't know what exactly it means by Marvel silenced her. But what I do know is that this is a crazy move by Bob Iger, like insane. And like when he say accountability, I now believe him. Like, if Victoria Alonso can get fired, anybody can. Like, that's how high up she was. And honestly, like, for a lot of people, for a lot of fans, this is a very welcome firing, because like she was not doing particularly well at her job. Like, there are a lot of reasons you could just get her gone, like the VFX stuff. Like, that's been a big one, like one of Marvel's biggest problems ever since she's been hired. And it was a problem before, but like I feel like she exacerbated to a point like it got to like such a low quality in like such a bad way. Like, the relationships were strained so bad. So that's a really huge reason why she was probably fired, like factored heavily. Like, the VFX stuff is insane. But also, like, on a secondary smaller note, she has like corporate rainbow capitalism type vibe. Like, identity politics to her is like the politics, and like I kind of hate it. You know. And it seems like we might agree on some things, like if you put out a list, but the way she engages in politics, it's just not great for like a political person in general, in my opinion, but also for like one of the heads of the biggest movie studios in the world. And what I'm actually hoping for out of this is that Feige not getting upset, right? Because we don't want Feige upset. We don't want him trying to like leave the studio or something. But Feige understanding like there are major problems. He probably needs to watch these projects way more closely, way more hawkishly. And it seems like from reports he didn't intervene. But like, that doesn't mean he's not upset. It just means he didn't intervene, right? But I'm hoping that Feige understands why she was fired and really starts to get Marvel back on track and focuses on each individual project more and more, so this doesn't happen. If you don't want your friends fired, maybe you don't release half-finished movies, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just want Kevin Feige fully focused on making Marvel great again and getting us back to where we used to be. And while we're on the subject of Kevin Feige and Marvel, I now want to shift into talking about the recent crazy news about Marvel Studios' Spoil subreddit. Now, if you don't know what this subreddit was one of the biggest subreddits ever. It was a place where you go to get leaks, rumors, updates, and like set photos and stuff like that. And like, this subreddit had some crazy things. We're talking like Andrew Garfield Spider-Man in 4K. And there was like full movie subtitles for Ant-Man Quantumania that was released like a week before the movie. And the literal last thing the subreddit did was put up a massive info dump talking about the next phases of Marvel. And they also had some like really big leaks for like current projects as well. And like a lot of these things have been corroborated post the subreddit being taken down. So it really seems like Marvel is trying to crack down on leaks and spoilers. And the subreddit just was a casualty of that more aggressive shift by Marvel, because they're like suing Google and trying to get names and find out who did this stuff. Now, me personally, if I was Marvel, I'd be focusing on making really good projects that people love and enjoy, other than your specific hardcore fan base, and even they aren't even like loving everything, especially since Multiverse of Madness. Like, I don't think leaks are the issue with Marvel Studios right now. I think it's a quality issue and a production issue. And that falls right on the lap of Kevin Feige, who is supposed to be in conversation for the greatest producer of all time, if not the greatest. So I don't get why they're trying to go for spoilers and subreddit when, like, that's not the problem. If anything, these things help your project. And those 900,000 people, yes, 900,000, are some of your most hardcore fans. Like, they love Marvel, and that's why they're on that subreddit every day talking and discussing and looking at what's going on. So in my opinion, it just wasn't a good idea, and it's really just not what Marvel should be focusing on right now, and it's just dumb all around. But in my opinion, I do think Marvel is turning a leaf, and I actually think that massive info dump we talked about earlier that had a lot of very cool things talking about like battle world phases and like a Secret Wars potentially being split into like 2 movies. Like, crazy stuff was being leaked out for the future that gets me really excited. And like I've been saying, I personally think Marvel is going to come really crazy in 2024. And there are even projects in 2023 that I'm like super excited for, like Secret Invasion that hopefully gives us like Winter Soldier vibes, and Loki season 2, which I think is going to be amazing television, which the MCU has been lacking for a while. And it's really going to connect us to Kang and what's going on with Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. And then next you have the Guardians 3, which I think is going to like return to tradition and give us like some real Guardians 1 vibes, and could really be a smash hit that Marvel needs right now. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to come down to, is Marvel going to like cut some of these projects or just delay them? And if they delay them, can they actually make them great and not mid? Because that's the problem. That's the issue right there. It's been quantity over quality issue for Marvel. And Marvel has been saying they're going to give these projects the space and time they deserve. And to me, hopefully, that means that these projects are going to hit like they used to, and it's just going to be good quality movies and shows that fans really enjoy and want to come back to. If you agree or disagree, leave opinions down below. Peace out.